Good afternoon. Welcome to the Google UOB SME Leadership Academy webinar series. My name is Gerald, and I lead the mid-market Google Ads business for Singapore. I hope you, your co-workers, and your loved ones are all safe as we navigate through the uncertainties of COVID-19. I'm sure, like us here at Google, many of you are balancing work and personal commitments at home, which isn't easy. So thank you for taking the time to invest in yourself and your business by attending our webinar series. We hope these sessions will provide you with the content and insights you need during this crucial time. The SME Leadership Academy has expanded its capacity to help 4,000 SMEs by the end of 2021, a tenfold increase from the initially projected 400 SMEs. Together with UOB, we recently announced the new curriculum for the SME Leadership Academy, which has been customized to help business leaders of SMEs from the retail, tourism, and F&B sectors respond to the unprecedented challenges from the COVID-19 pandemic. This revised curriculum will teach you how to use digital solutions including online collaboration tools to be more effective when managing your businesses from home. You will also gain insights into effective people and business management during crises, which can then be turned into practical steps you can take to tackle the immediate challenges. If you have any feedback for us, please fill up the short survey we have at the end of the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Gerald, for the introduction. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this final session of the SME Leadership Academy webinar F&B series. My name is Felix, and I lead the portfolio management function of UOB Business Banking. We are now more than a month into phase 2 reopening, and the recovery path hasn't been easy for many businesses like yours. I'm sure many of you, more than ever, will need to balance work commitments with personal responsibilities. So thank you for taking the time to join us this morning. Before we jump into the content, we recognize that some of you may be new to live stream, so we'd like to share a couple of tips to make this as good an experience as possible. Firstly, we highly recommend that you join the live stream via desktop for the optimum viewing experience. Secondly, we appreciate that you may have questions, so we have allotted 15 minutes Q&A at the end of the session. Please feel free to ask your questions throughout. You can do so via the comments section below, and please leave some time for your comments to appear after posting. Finally, we would love to hear from you. Toward the end of the session, you will see a feedback survey appear. Please share your thoughts. They will be valuable inputs for our ongoing and future efforts. On that note, let's get started. We will be covering 3 topics today, which you should see on the screen now. First, we have a recap of the government assistance schemes announced under the resilience budget in March. Next, with online channels becoming an inevitable strategy for F&B, you will hear from the UOB BizSmart team on how you can adapt to this change and become more efficient in your daily operations. Finally, if you wish to get started or would like to further your digitalization journey for your business, our FinLab will be here to share with you how you can do so through a structured and guided approach. With that, I'd like to hand it over to my colleague Rachel, First Vice President and Team Head in UOB Business Banking. Over to you, Rachel.
Thank you, Felix. Good morning, one and all. Pleased to be here again with you all, and I hope you had a good breakfast earlier. I'm Rachel from UOB Business Banking, and I'll be taking you through some of the COVID support measures that UOB have in place for our customers. We understand that this is a difficult period, and UOB stands by SMEs through these challenging times by collaborating with MAS and the financial industry to support SMEs affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. In partnership with MAS and our partners, we have rolled out some of the support measures to help SME businesses in these challenging times. All the support measures are available through our website, and you may scan the QR code on screen to find out more. Some of the SME loan relief measures for SMEs include deferment of principal on the secured SME term loans. The bank has also rolled out a range of temporary relief payment schemes to support customers who are facing temporarily cash flow issues during the COVID-19 pandemic by lowering the interest rates and giving a higher subsidies on SME loans. You can also reach out to UOB by contacting our UOB service hotline at 6259-8188, visit a nearby UOB branch, or reach out to any salesperson or relationship manager in UOB Business Banking. Some of the financial assistance include the Enhanced SME Working Capital Loan, the Temporarily Bridging Loan, and the Loan Insurance Schemes or the Enterprise Financing Schemes for our trade facilities. I'll be running through some of the key features. I'll be running through some of the key features of the Enhanced SME Working Capital Loan and Temporarily Bridging Loan Scheme features and eligibility next. For the Enhanced SME Working Capital Loan, it's essentially a term loan that has a maximum loan quantum of up to 1 million per borrower. And do note that the overall loan exposure limit of 50 million per borrower group applies across all areas. The maximum tenor for the loan stands at 5 years with a 90% risk share to ESG. To be eligible, you need to be a business entity that is registered and physically present in Singapore, with at least 30% local equity held directly or indirectly by a Singaporean or Singapore PRs. This is only available to SMEs. And for SME working capital loan, the definition of SME refers to a group revenue of up to 100 million or a maximum employment of 200 employees. For the temporary bridging loan, it's essentially also a term loan with a maximum loan quantum of up to 5 million per borrower group. The maximum loan tenor also stands at 5 years with a 90% risk share to ESG. To be eligible, you will also need to be a business entity that is registered and physically present in Singapore with at least 30% local equities held directly or indirectly by a Singaporean or a Singapore PR. For the business owners who are interested, I'm pleased to share that you can now send in your application online via our website. Application takes only 5 minutes, and all you need to do is to apply online is just your past login credentials for your company, your SingPass login credentials for all business owners, partners, directors for Singaporeans and PRs. If you are to scan the QR code on screen now, you'll be taken to the portal in which you may find out more about our UOB business loans. There is also a section featuring on our monthly loan installment calculator for your easy calculation and other COVID resources in which you may refer to. You can also send in your application online via this link. To find out more about UOB business events, privileges, and offers, you may wish to scan the QR code on your left. If you have any further questions, please feel free to post them in the comment section on your screen and we will address them during the Q&A. With that, we will move into the next segment on how you can adapt to change from premise to online. I will now hand over to Sean, Regional Partnership and Channels Leads for BizSmart, to show you how it works. Over to you, Sean.
Thanks, Rachel. I appreciate that introduction. So, like Rachel said, I work with UOB BizSmart team around the region, taking our suite of small business solutions out to the market. So quite a bit to cover today. I've got about 20 minutes with you, and what we're going to do is jump through the UOB BizSmart solution suite as a whole, kind of what is it and what's it about. We'll spend 99% of our time in the Get solution for FMBs, which is really the meat of the content that I think you're going to be interested in today. And then finally closing out real quick with some next steps and actions. So the BizSmart suite of solutions, where I want to start is what's UOB doing right? Why are we talking to you about business solutions and not about core banking capabilities? Long story short is we went out, talked to our customers, listened to what people were saying, and people were saying they wanted more. They didn't just want the financing or the bank account or any of that kind of stuff. We actually want to help and get experience from the bank's vast years of experience across all these industries and sectors on how businesses can run better, perform better. And clearly it's better for us if you guys are resilient in current times and highly successful in more greener pasture times, and that we also benefit from that as being your bank. So we're highly invested in helping you succeed, which is why we're doing this. So from the BizSmart solution suite itself, a couple of components. So for invoicing, billing, core business management solution, we have a enterprise, which is a front-end solution powered by SAP B1 in the back end. B1, as you may be familiar, or SAP for sure, is a very large international enterprise level solution. And the enterprise solution we use is actually a front end built on that to work for small businesses, and specifically for small businesses. Attached to that is HR Easily, our core HR management solution, payroll, leave, claims, time and attendance. So it covers that side of the business. And more vertically focused, we have Easy Procure, which is focused on F&B sector, fresh goods procurement. Get, which I'm going to spend our time talking about today, which is the F&B industry solution for online and offline full automation within your business. and Shopmatic, which is an e-commerce solution more for people selling goods, trading online. So in terms of the solution itself, why are you looking to choose an integrated business management solution? So broadly speaking, what we want to do is take these types of capabilities around accounting and finance, bringing in bank feed data, which is your daily transaction data, into your operating solution, giving you capabilities around business intelligence to understand how you run your business, and then folding in that payroll HR management, getting you enabled with e-invoicing and inventory control so you can manage that side of the business, and also your CRM to connect with your customers. Now, this is kind of a broad stroke for many different segments, but in terms of your group specifically, I want to talk about Gets and the idea of going from on-premise to online, and not necessarily doing one or the other, but it's about doing both and doing them in an integrated and very methodical way that's going to reduce your cost and increase your profits, which is obviously the holy grail for small businesses, right? So Gets is a PSG pre-approved, they say food tech and fintech solution because they have the payment gateway capabilities built into it. They're PSG pre-approved, and they're basically saying they can equip you with a full 360 view of your business to give you that digital transformation capability. And as they say, maximize sales, minimize your running costs at the same time. And there's 100% retention of your customers through an auto capture into your remarketing capabilities, which we'll talk about in a minute. So what they're talking about around a fully integrated solution is looking at your in-store or on-premise contactless dine-in, contactless takeaway, and looking at your online activities from advanced takeaway and also your nationwide or island-wide delivery capabilities and POS. Now, a lot of questions probably coming up saying, hey, look, there's a lot of things behind these items. So how do they actually do that? We're going to get into that in just a moment. In terms of where Gets is as a business, they've been in the market for over 12 years. They've already transformed over 800 F&Bs, and I'll share some of those brand names with you towards the end of the presentation. Streamlined in terms of cost savings and capability, the over $2 million for their customers, and processed over 100 million Singapore dollars in terms of sales revenue. So what is the challenge? And you guys will know this in much more detail than I will, but essentially what we're saying is there's two critical components. And apologies, it's a bit of a busy slide, but there's obviously a lot of detail behind the scenes in your business in terms of your services and in terms of your processes. And it's really important to think about these things in connection with each other when we're trying to automate or digitize the business. So for separated services, fundamentally, when you started your business, you would have started with a POS because you can't really run your business without one. And all other forms of innovation typically are bottlenecked or attached somehow to whether or not it connects with your POS. And they get that. So whether you can do contactless dine-in, contactless takeaways, or in terms of online, can you take on advanced takeaways or island-wide delivery capabilities? And how does that tether back into then the processes you use to run your business? Because if customers can't find you in terms of discovery and user access, when you play with platform players, you're building the platform's brand, not necessarily your brand. So your visibility when customers look up the type of food you sell or look up your brand specifically can get hidden within those. So building that requires marketing capabilities. Poor ordering and upselling. Fundamentally, you pay your servers to do 4 critical things in terms of service, upsell, retention, and processing the payments at the end. But in reality, their ability to do all of these things can be a bit hampered, and some people just aren't good at all of those tasks. So poor ordering and upselling is a big challenge. Again, more people is an answer, but that's more cost. Costly payment and long settlement. As you engage with other solutions and other e-wallets, for example, to process these payments and give a better customer experience, there is a challenge on the business side where fulfillment and settlement can take much longer. And while you run on very short cycles in terms of cash flow management, your settlement from those wallets can take quite a long time. And there's a lot of cost involved. So that's a big challenge. Adjustments reconciliation, a big pain for SMEs, particularly in the F&B side, where you often have to eat the cost of changes, where someone has decided to change an order, or they have decided that they didn't like something and you have to replace it. It's very difficult when you're using online solutions, or you're using some of these other ordering solutions, to make those changes and reconcile them with the kitchen and reconcile them with the payment side of the business to make a repayment back to the customer. So this disconnected component is challenging. Support and fulfillment, if you buy different solutions to run each of these processes and services, you're then working with a lot of different teams that care a lot about whether the technical side of the solution works, not necessarily whether or not your customer has had a good experience throughout your business, throughout that buy flow. And so that's a big issue. And customer retention, unless you have someone in your business actively selling retention and capturing customers onto loyalty programs, then your ability to reconnect with them is pretty difficult. So this is essentially to say headline challenges around being able to scale your business services while also being able to interconnect and create efficiency across your processes. This is really difficult to do. And as you digitize or automate individual pieces, connecting them can sometimes cost more than the benefit of automating them. And so Getz is very aware of this, the duality of this challenge. So what if you could transform the business by essentially taking on one iPad, one solution, not necessarily having to replace the POS, but it's available, and transform within 2 weeks, and an instant 80% cost savings with this sustainable growth outlook? The way that they propose to do this is by successfully adopting, successfully adopting over a couple of weeks the capabilities that they're talking about in completion. So for your first week, you're looking at your online advanced takeaway and the island-wide delivery capabilities. The second week, then you would look at your in-house contactless dine-in and contactless takeaway capabilities. And then optionally, you can take the integrated POS, which is actually free. So I think there's a big incentive to look at doing that. Scaling then that services capability, like I said, with one iPad is the simplest way to get it done. And then what happens is these other components are now integrated and they are now connected because you're using one tool to service all of them. So that means then when you do find someone, because you have an online presence, they find you, they can access you, they can go straight to ordering. Within the solution, there's prompts for upselling and cross-selling based contextually on what they're buying. And then also then straight through to payments and settlements that happen daily. This fintech piece comes in because Getz has that ability to process the payments and settle your account on a daily basis. So you're not waiting with that ambiguity of when that money will come in and then the difficulty of reconciling those accounts. From the back of house perspective, that automated adjustment and reconciliation where customers make changes because they're in your native solution the whole way through. And in terms of support and fulfillment, there's really cool capabilities for Getz available to you, which we're going to go into in more detail, and then retention automatically happening within the business. So some of the results speak for themselves, but the Getz solution is very, and the business is very, very results focused. In terms of financial, the adoption cost is very, very low, except I'll get to the pricing towards the end. And the running cost is exceptionally low, built on a profit share basis. So if you're not making sales, you're not paying for the solution. So it's very in tune with the rhythm of your business. The daily settlement, as I mentioned, real-time order adjustments and reconciliation, reducing all of your existing POS costs to zero if you take their natively built connected POS because it's free. In terms of service and operation results, there's instant savings where you do not need as much manpower potentially to run that business if you adopt these connected solutions. So you have options to potentially scale back the manpower requirement, which is your single biggest cost in the business, while actually automating and increasing your customer service capabilities. A few other key ones here around the support operation results. You actually have the support of Gets both in implementation for your in-store and online tools, but post that, actively, they will be doing proactive service and support. I'll show you what that looks like in a moment, where they're actually keeping visibility on the time and potential issues that are coming up around fulfilling your orders and getting ahead of them so it doesn't become a cost and an annoyance for the business. And in terms of marketing, where you might be thinking about hiring a dedicated marketer, these capabilities are actually built into the solution, and some of them are quite automated, particularly around remarketing, where customers who have purchased from you before through the payment process have shared and authenticated their details, and then you can automatically remarket back to those customers again with new or different offers and getting them back into store. So how do we do some of this? So in terms of the in-store side, so we'll talk through some of those business processes and capabilities. In terms of in-store contactless dine and takeaway, it's as simple as having your table sticker with a QR code on it. You still can have a physical menu, but that's actually another cost. And particularly in today's environment, people will understand if you're taking them out, reducing a huge amount of cost of keeping them updated. It's scalable because there's no hardware investment. You don't have to issue an iPad to every single table and take on that risk and cost. It's bring your own device. Customers are simply whipping out their phone and engaging with the solution. But it also means they're not being asked to download an app. There's no barriers to this. It's simply a web page that they're accessing through that QR code. In terms of your operational costs, because you don't have an order taker going over and collecting orders, trying to upsell items if they have that capability, going back to the kitchen and those manual processes that you're all very familiar with, it's purely automated. So you're taking your order time and collection and fulfillment from minutes down to seconds. The average order size from their experience has increased using the solution. That's because, like I said, contextually, if you are buying a certain dish and there are other add-ons, shall we say, or there are other side dishes that naturally match that, they will get that suggestion at the right time when they're ordering. So they're more likely to take it up. Member-to-member retention is about collecting that details, and then it automatically happens as they transact on the solution. And the retargeting then happens within 30 days. If they've not revisited your business, then they get some communication through SMS, or there are other scale-up, more content-rich ways of doing that, if you choose to, that will communicate with those customers and get them back in store. Contactless dine-in and takeaway. So there's this process here you can see by the screens where you can scan that QR code. They don't have to download anything or sign up. It's just simply there in front of them in a browser format. They select modifiers and variants, like I said, with the limit controls. So you control all of these parameters so they're not being led by something that's not available. And an intelligent upselling for higher order. This is really critical because servers don't always have the ability to do this. And it's a really big opportunity to increase the sale per customer. This intelligent membership retention means you've got that built into that sales flow process. It's not an extra sell to ask them to sign up for a membership. It just happens automatically as a part of that process. And then the intelligent payment is built in. Just very simply, you're transacting through the same solution. For online advanced delivery and island-wide delivery and advanced pickup, this is the same thing. There's a portal that you have to manage the business. So when the customer comes in to this online space, it'll automatically assign them to the nearest outlet. You configure the delivery fees according to how you want to profit it. You choose which delivery platforms you are connecting into your solution instead of having to put your business inside theirs. The intelligent upselling is also there. There are a lot of multi-delivering fleets, so you can choose those. And then again, the member-to-member and the automated retargeting comes into play here. So how this would look from a customer perspective, these screens you can see, and this is something they'll help you set up in terms of plugging in the deliveries you require, the solutions you want to work with, setting up the items, photos, all that kind of stuff, and then building in this workflow where you can select those modifiers, upsell, capture the customer again, and then the intelligent payment is just built in and we want to remarket back to those customers again, so we get them back for repeat business. So the proactive support and active monitoring, this piece I mentioned before, this is a really big deal, because typically what happens is when you're selling through an online platform, not only do you lose so much of the profit margin over to that platform, you're beholden to their vision of what customer support looks like. And it's really about retrospective as opposed to proactive. If I've ordered a pizza, it hasn't arrived, I go into whichever solution I'm using, hey, it's not happened. They contact the restaurant. By this stage, the food that was made is cold and gone, and the customer's not happy, and you might have to redo the order. Depending on who you're working with, you might bear the cost of that. What happens here is Get proactively monitors for red flags. So in terms of when the fulfillment should be happening, they're monitoring to see, are there things that indicate something's going wrong here before it goes wrong? So like, for example, here, the first one that's highlighted, the outlet hasn't assigned a driver, but the fulfillment is coming up. And so they would say, well, hang on, you got to assign a driver to this. Or they're monitoring and checking that the outlet needs to double check if the driver is really needed, or if it's not, because it's said in the system that no driver required. So these kinds of things are red flags where the people in your business, particularly if you've got multiple stores, they can miss an order. They may not be picking up and accepting new orders coming in a timely fashion. This dashboard that you see and that Gets is monitoring with you as a service support means that these things are less likely to happen, less cost, and just less hassle and risk in the customer being dissatisfied with the service. And so here we see this is the chat they have. They're actively working with any of the supply and delivery vendors that you choose to work with. And they have active chat groups going on with them and monitoring to make sure all of the deliveries are happening in a timely fashion and that there's no issues. So it's like having this fully connected service team, but you don't have to hire them yourself. Obviously, it's very much in Get's interest that these things all run smoothly, because this is what builds up that cost saving for you. So the complete in-store and online transformation. So we talked about in-store contactless dine-in, in-store contactless takeaway, your out-of-store advanced pickup, and your out-of-store island-wide delivery. So individually taking each of these solutions, technical solutions, and trying to buy them one by one. And apologies for my arrows there. Something happened with the configuration of the slide, but I think we get the idea. Taking these in one solution, instead of trying to automate them piece by piece, means that when you look at the front of house and back of house processes required to fulfill them, they are integrated, they're connected, and it means you are not having to put in human resource between each individual step. Because this is where it looks fancy to have these capabilities, but if you have to bear more cost in running them than not running them, it removes the whole point of it, and you're back at square one anyway. So this is about giving you one iPad, a 360-degree complete view of automating these processes and capabilities in the business, and being able to grow the business at the same time, and being able to say grow the business with real meaning here, because you're expanding new sales channels and increasing your repeat customer purchasing. So the way it works is they start out with, obviously you sign a contract, you get up and running and committed, aligning with your sales operations, and if you have a marketing person, so we can grab the relevant information and start building it into the solution. From day 3 to 5, you're uploading all of these components and configuring the system. And then day 6, it's installed on site and online. And then from day 7, you train the staff and it's up and running. So by doing these steps methodically and gathering the right detail along the way, it makes going live a much less riskier venture, and you've got a lot more confidence that it'll work. So in terms of pricing, privilege pricing for UOB, so the setup and licensing fee, so it's 1 year plus 1 year free of charge, and very heavily subsidized through the PSG and Skills Future side of things. So you're looking at a 97% cost of fragment, which is huge. In terms of the payment fees, how it works, depending on if you're doing in-store versus pickup, and whether for maintenance, again, and support, it depends on the type of transaction that's being done. But you're looking at small percentage amounts with small fixed fee components. When you add these up, now the Gets guys will sit down and work this out very detailed mathematically to show you what the true cost difference would be. But when you take into account, if you are running just one store, if you can streamline your workforce by even one headcount, you'll automatically make a huge cost saving after adopting the entire solution. Also, reducing your MDR on the payment processing, because you're not relying then on some other third parties that carry higher costs because they're possibly using PayPal or others in the background, because Gets doesn't require that as that fintech capability. They can process those payments without such onerous fees. So it's a kind of a same for same, but with much, much higher capabilities within the business as a result. So in terms of some of the businesses they've worked with, some very familiar brand names here, I think you'll know. And across the board, they've had very, very strong positive customer feedback. Now, I hope I've done them service in kind of as a third party talking about their business today. But from talking with them myself, I'm very, very confident they really know their stuff when it comes to the F&B side, and they've got really strong demonstrated and proven success. So I highly recommend that you get in touch with us. We'll link you guys up and get you up and running. So from here, next steps and actions, there's a QR code shared at the end. You can sign up and get going today. If you're taking the Get solution and then also say looking at HR Easily to run the HRM side of the business, potentially Enterprise then to do the core accounting from the outputs that come from Gets in terms of the reporting, you would also qualify for the BRD, which is the relief budget, and that's giving back cash benefits and many thousands of dollars back to you for digitizing at this particular point in time. We will share a link in the Q&A or following up, we'll send a link to everybody with some more information about what qualifies for the relief budget, but this solution does. Talk is easy or cheap. You know, to change, it takes some confidence and a bit of a leap of faith. But as I said, these guys really know their stuff. So I really hope you make a plan and actually get started. And from there, take advantage. There's a lot of grants and supports available to you, particularly in these difficult times. So it now is the best time to look at this and really grow that online business and increase your take. Okay, that's it from me for my segment. Apologies if I've gone a little bit over time, but where we're going to go from here is to Pauline, who is the co-head of the FinLab, that's going to take you through the UOB FinLab, what's coming up, what's happening, what's exciting and innovating on their side. Over to you, Pauline.
Thank you. Hi. Okay, so I hope everyone can see me and my slides. Yeah, so we are here today to really share how we are going to support as COVID period has accelerated digitalization. I think first and foremost, it accelerated an appreciation of how much SMEs will need to digitalize. So I'm here today to talk about how the FinLab can support you after you have decided that, yes, this is what you want to do. This is how we can help you do it. And this is the how, in other words. So I'm the co-head of the FinLab. And so the FinLab is an innovation accelerator by UOB. We're very much a part of UOB. Started in 2016, helping tech startups to accelerate and grow in the region. And then in 2018, seeing that there's a demand and a need on the ground by the SMEs who want to embark on digitalization and keep up to date with Industry 4.0, we actually expanded our acceleration program to help SMEs to digitalize and transform their business. And in 2019, we brought the program to Thailand and Malaysia, working with the local SMEs and the local partners, including government agencies and associations, to support these SMEs to digitalize as well. So in all the past years, we have actually met more than 1,000 tech solutions, and these tech solutions come from over 48 countries, some as far as Canada. So these happy pictures are the pictures of the SMEs that we have worked with in the past 2 years. These are from Singapore, Thailand, and Malaysia. And as I mentioned, in each place that we ran our programs, and these will be face-to-face programs, we actually work with the local partners on the ground, even including the mentors. So, after 2 years of speaking and working with SMEs, the demand continues to be very strong in the region by the SMEs that want to embark. And therefore, this year we have launched the FinLab Online. So how do we help SMEs like yourselves to digitalize? It is really through a three-pronged approach, very much end-to-end. We first start with equipping you with knowledge around the areas of innovation, because these areas develop very fast and a lot of things are happening. So we pull out the relevant information that you need to know that's relevant for SME businesses, and we share these with you to start off. And then after you understand what's out there and how you can apply it to your business, the SMEs then start to prioritize, review their business model and prioritize the areas that they want to work on. Because every business, you have limited resource, you want to tackle the areas that will create the biggest impact for your business if you were to solve it. So after the SMEs are prioritized, we then curate and shortlist relevant tech solutions that you can work with, and we showcase and match them to you. And then the SMEs will select who they want to partner with. And once they've selected the tech solution partner, we will also support the tech implementation, because very often we have seen in working with SMEs that implementation pose a big challenge. There is a certain level of inertia, and also sometimes your teams might not be well equipped to work with these tech solution providers. So we actually facilitate this project implementation as well. Right now, I'd like to share a video with you by the Singapore SMEs that joined our program in 2018. You will hear directly from them on their experience. So let's play the video.
This is a very important journey as part of our transformation process, because when we started the transformation journey, we faced a lot of issues. We faced a lot of problems with the program that we went through with FinLab. They actually helped us to solve quite a lot of things. Without FinLab program, we will have to spend a lot more time, talk to a lot more people. So this is a very compressed and very good experience that saves us a lot of time and effort.
Going back to school is challenging because of the schedule. We are going to school, the classes is 2 to 3 times a week, and it can be quite demanding. So now we understand why FinLab actually mentioned that it has to be an able, willing, and committed SME so that we can actually learn.
Going back to school, the feeling was fantastic. We have learned a lot of technologies that's out there made available to us SMEs. It's just that we don't have the avenue to go and find them until FinLab reach them to us.
It never fails to stimulate the mind, particularly in the area of digital technology. And this year is particularly more interesting because it covers the way technology, digital transformation is being used to help SMEs get into the market.
We decided to go on the FinLab program because we wanted to find a solution that would enable us to have visibility on the company's sales and also to track our customers if there's any fall-offs. We are looking forward to learn about the various tech solutions and how they can apply into my current company's ecosystem and what kind of integrations needed and what is not needed as well.
The FinLab program impacted the business a lot. We always in the loss do not know which are the solution or IT solution better for the company. So with this FinLab program, we actually stream down and then we can identify what is our problem, and we will then find the right vendor IT solution that can enhance the businesses.
Well, I think it's a good experience. The SMEs are extremely interested in what they are learning. And the topic, if not for FinLab, would not have been presented for them. Because most SMEs are struggling with day-to-day issues. And here we are teaching them how to transform, from a change management standpoint, their businesses for success.
It's a learning journey for both parties, for us as well as for the SMEs, but it has been very, very enriching, very, very empowering. What I believe is that these lot of SMEs, they have the ability, and more importantly, they have the willingness to start on this process, and they will continue to see it through till its fruition.
Right, so I hope you all enjoyed the video. I know some of the SMEs shared that, it's an intense classroom process. But ever since last year, we have been looking at how do we support many more SMEs. Because these SMEs that go through the program, which is a 3-month program in the past 2 years, there's a certain level of commitment involved. But we want to reach more, and therefore, as I shared earlier, this year we have launched the FinLab Online, which we started building since last year. But who knows, it really came in time when we had our circuit breaker where nobody could meet anyone. So I'd like to share more about the FinLab Online. Essentially what the SMEs will experience through the FinLab Online, it is the same proposition and same value that SMEs will get in the offline program. So essentially learning, being exposed to the areas of innovation, being matched with relevant tech solutions that the FinLab team has curated, and also getting support for the implementation. So on the FinLab Online, TFO stands for the FinLab Online. These are the features you can find. It's quite a lot, so I'll just run through, dive into each one and run through quickly with all of you. Starting with the FinLab program, you have heard the SME share. Actually, the FinLab Online program, which we call the FinLab Propel, it is made into a simple, fully online program for SMEs to embark and to complete. So in 6 steps, you can embark on the digitalization journey. And in fact, we highlighted here that just to get diagnosed and matched to the tech solution will take you less than 30 minutes. So how do we do this? This program is fully online. SMEs can come in anytime and start and pick up and learn at your own pace, get matched at your own pace. So we have created proprietary tools that is hosted on the FinLab Online Propel program that helps you to get started. And also, it can be embarked on in your own time, own target, right? Because all of us are busy in the day. Maybe you only have time to attend masterclasses at night. So these masterclasses are also available for you at night. So it's meant to be very simple. What we have done is to crystallize all the learnings and experience that we had working with SMEs in the past 2 years. Created the key learnings and put them online in our Propel program. So you really get the best of our learnings in the past 2 years. So for example, just to get started under Prioritize, you will be led to a tool which we call Digital Needs Assessment. So this Digital Needs Assessment tool helps you to look at the different areas that you could potentially work on or digitalize. And then at the end of the tool, which only takes you 15 minutes, what you get is a ranking of the areas of digitalization that will deliver the biggest impact to your business. And it gives a guide as to how you can prioritize the different areas of digitalization. And then after that, we'll lead you to a relevant tech solution, which takes another 15 minutes. So all in less than 30 minutes to a tech solution that you can work with. So it's really a very simple program that you can access anytime online. And then, of course, we have also laid up a host of content. For SMEs, you want to be kept in the loop, kept abreast of what's going on. So this series of content will help you. Firstly, the Mentoring Leader series. We have a community of mentors, not just in Singapore, but in Thailand and Malaysia as well, that are able to bring their domain expertise and share on topics that are relevant to your business. And then we also have guest columns, number 2. These are views and insights from key opinion leaders. And then number 3, Becoming Giant series. These are the sharing by the SME owners themselves that have gone through the program with us on their own digitalization journey. And number 4, Fueling Businesses series. These are infographics and guides done by the team to help you on your journey. And of course, we have ongoing clinics and webinars that we host live. So clinics with the FinLab team when you need support along the implementation journey. And we also invite sometimes our mentors to come in and advise SMEs as well. And then on a monthly basis, we invite the most innovative tech solutions that we have come across, and we invite them to a tech showcase webinar where they will showcase what they have that are relevant to an SME business. And under resources, these are the information that our partners have availed. So for example, digitalization grants, the most relevant one to you today would be the Digital Resilience Bonus that IMDA has availed and UOB is partnering with. So this DRB that is available for F&B businesses to apply. We have also created a tool to help you to know which are the areas that are gaps and that you can potentially adopt to qualify for the grant. So sharing on the grant is available on the FinLab online now. And also tech discounts and bundles. So exclusive offers from the tech partners that we work with that is available only to the FinLab SMEs. So at this point, you'll be wondering, how do I get plugged in? So happy to share that for all the participants today, you have automatic access to the FinLab online. We'll be sending you a welcome email with login details. So do look out for our email. And you can access all the content and the Propel program that I've shared earlier. So I'd like to share actually 2 upcoming events that you might be interested in. Firstly, happening tomorrow at 9:30 is our Propel program kickoff. So, we have 100 over SMEs express their interest to join the Propel program that I shared earlier. We will be bringing everyone together to go through a business model workshop. So what this workshop does is to help SME owners look at your current business model, review it and identify the gaps and the opportunities, and then strategize. Because I think, you might have heard Minister Heng in one of his speeches share that for every business model is very important. It is important to strategize and stay relevant even as times have changed. So this business model is this exercise to help you to strategize. So if you are interested, join us tomorrow at 9:30 for a half-day workshop. And then another upcoming event is actually a mentor series. We'll be having a live session with our change management and leadership mentor, Peter Ong, on Thursday. So this is one of the clinic sessions that I shared about, where we invite a mentor to address questions that SMEs have, burning questions that you have. And in this particular case, it's on change management and leadership. If you're interested, just scan the QR code to sign up, or you can go to the FinLab online website, which is thefinlab.com, and you can access all the information and events coming up. Right, so if you are keen to check us out, this is the QR code and the link to go to the FinLab online. Otherwise, do look out for a welcome email as I shared. And right now, I'll hand the time back to Felix.
All right, thank you, Pauline, Sean, and Rachel. All right, thank you to our speakers for the sharing. We'll now move into the Q&A. Right, so before we start the questions, just a quick reminder to please fill out the feedback survey, which you should see appear on the top right of your screen. Please do share your thoughts. Your inputs will be, valuable to help us improve this program. So, okay, let's jump straight into Q&A, and can we have all the speakers on screen? Okay, let's start off with Rachel first. Rachel, are you online?
Yes, online. Hi.
Okay, good, yeah. So the question is, how does UOB review and assess the loan eligibility?
Okay.
I believe this is referring to the government assistance schemes.
Yes, I believe so too. So under the temporary bridging loan, all eligible enterprise can borrow up to 1 million under the business banking. So SMEs under this scheme can also apply for deferment of principal payment to help them to reduce their monthly cash outflow. So to be eligible, businesses must be registered and physically present in Singapore, as I mentioned earlier. They must also have 30% local equity held directly or indirectly by a Singaporean or Singapore PR. Businesses can also opt to apply for the enhanced working capital loan, which I shared earlier as well. The maximum loan quantum has been raised from 600,000 to 1 million. The enhanced working capital loan is also available to SMEs across all segments and must meet the criteria of being registered and physically present in Singapore. They must have at least 30% local equity held directly or indirectly by a Singaporean or Singapore PR. And this is only available to SME with sales turnover of up to 100 million or group employment size of 200 workers. So enterprises can apply for both the temporary bridging loan and the enhanced working capital loan if they meet the criteria for each scheme, and the approval will be subjected to final assessment by the bank. Yep, thank you.
Right. Yeah, thank you, Rachel. So if you can't remember all of that, not to worry, because I posted the link below in the comment section, so you can refer to it and then refer to the details at your own time. Okay, next question. I guess this would be for Sean. So how do I sign up for GETS, and do I need a UOB account for this?
Good question, thank you. So we've shared a link with everybody to the Get UOB page. So that'll give you an immediate sign up opportunity there. You don't, to use Get, it's a solution that's also in the market in its own right. You don't have to be a UOB account holder. However, if you want to benefit from the special pricing that has been put forward for partnership with UOB, then you would need to have a UOB account, yes. And also, if you're looking to bridge into some of the other solutions in the BizSmart offering, you would need to be a BizSmart customer. But I think it's worth your while. There's some good solutions there, and we're highly motivated to help your business succeed.
Yeah. Okay. And the next question will be, is there any cost to join the Propel program? And does Propel help with all areas of digitalization, example, cybersecurity?
Yeah, thanks for the question. So there is, I forgot to mention earlier, actually, one of the most important thing is that there is no cost to join the Propel program. It is fully online, and any SMEs can just sign up as a member. You will receive the welcome email as an attendee today, and you can start without any cost. The cost that you probably will have to budget for will be when you select the tech solution provider that you want to work with, and there will then be a cost to using the tech solution and implementing it in your business. But that is a decision that you will choose, because you will decide which are the tech solution providers that you want to work with. And in terms of the areas of digitalization, actually we do see a lot of different tech solutions for different areas of SMEs requirements. So if cybersecurity is a key area, a key problem statement for your business, then yes, we do have cybersecurity tech solution providers that we can match and refer to you.
Okay, thanks, Pauline. And before we move on to the next questions, again, just a reminder, the feedback survey is on the top, on the right of your screen. So just take a few minutes to please fill out, your feedback for us, right? So thank you for that. Next question, I guess this would be open to both Pauline and Sean, with regards to all this digitalization assistance, right? So why is the bank doing this?
Good question. It was actually one of my first slide, but I'm happy to kind of cover it from the BizSmart perspective, and then Pauline perhaps can cover it then from the FinLab perspective. So from a BizSmart side of the things, we recognize that listening to customers, it wasn't good enough to just simply have the financial side of things. That gives you the lifeblood of the business, but doesn't guarantee success. So we know that you need tools, you need solutions, and you need more from the bank than simply just a bank account, which is why we've stepped into this space, and we think we've curated some good solutions. We always want to improve it, but the why is so that you succeed, because as your bank, as your business grows and succeeds, our business also grows and succeeds. So it makes a lot of sense for us to want to play that role and be a positive guiding force for your business.
Yeah. So I echo Sean's view on if you succeed, when you succeed, we succeed as well. I think in terms of digitalization, we have seen SMEs putting this on top of your agenda. So beyond growing and financing, through financing, many SMEs are also looking at how do you stay relevant and how do you grow, tapping on the opportunities with the digital economy. So, you know, as the innovation accelerator of UOB, we then, you know, like to avail the innovation to our SME community as well, wherever UOB operates. So that's one of the reasons we do want to provide that value add, because it matters to you as a business owner, and it also helps you to grow. Yeah.
Yeah, I think just to reiterate that, I think because I think, you know, working closely with our customers, I think we've come across many customers who have actually taken a big step. We have also come across many customers who are still thinking of, you know, making that big step. And I think especially now with the need accelerated by COVID, which is why I think the bank as a whole, we are working very closely with the various industry partners to show you that, look, actually the steps taken to perhaps digitalize part of your operations or all of it is not that daunting. I think Sean earlier, I've seen from his sharing, right, to get on Gets, it can be as short as just 1 to 2 weeks, right, to get a basic operations get going. And then Pauline has also shared, now look, if you are still thinking about it, but you like to get started, right, there are also workshops to guide you through on how you can plan your next steps, right?
Mm.
Okay, I think the final questions that we have over here is refers to the digital resilience bonus. So we won't go into the details over here, but again, I think you can refer to the IMDA website. We've just posted the link over here. Now, but maybe I think for some of you, if you still have questions, more questions on this DRB or digital resilience bonus, I'm going to post a link over here because on 6th August, which is just 2 days from now, we have a UOB IMDA webinar on this DRP, so you can actually register yourselves to to find out more, right? So let me do that, and maybe let's just give it, half a minute more to see if there are any more questions coming in. Okay, so I've just posted the link in the comment section below. So feel free to access it. You can watch a replay of this session. If you'd like to review some of the content, you can go back to this link, review the session later on, or sign up for the future events. Okay, I think we have covered all questions. Okay, so thank you everyone, I think, for your time and engagement today. We really hope you have found these sessions useful. Right? If you have further questions or wish to find out more about UOB's solutions for F&B businesses, you can please scan the QR codes which we'll put up on screen right now. We hope you found today's webinar of value. So in the meantime, keep learning. Do go through the resources on SME Leadership Academy and Grow with Google Singapore websites. So for this Leadership Academy website, you can review the past recorded sessions. The video on demand will be available until the end of the month. So bookmark it or share it with your colleagues on network if they are unable to attend. Right. So thank you again all for attending. Stay safe and healthy, everyone, and we hope to see you in our future programs.